Well, we're back. I'm going to run through the burns really, really quick here. A bit of a lackluster week. Who were some of the highlights? Road Tripper. James was first place second. You know what? I made a little reference and a joke about the race and joked with James after and made fun of him. But I watched the replay. I I don't think that he should have been set back. I think he hit the first pylon, went through the second pylon, and that was kind of a tight call. But either way, he still fits in almost a two, I guess, if you're going to look at a bright side, and looked really impressive. I feel that a couple of calls about him, people wanting to buy him this week, and I truly believe this is going to be a good horse someday. He's 5 now. You have to wait even the most of this year. He's getting sounder, and every time he gets sounder, he gets stronger. Really, really impressed with him overall. So we're gonna run through them. American League. Kevin had made a scratch them late. Kevin didn't want to bother me when I'm in Australia, but I wish he had of. I didn't know he was scratched in London. And 3 of our clients said, "Hey, why is he scratched?" Uh, the horse raced well on Saturday, and Kevin just didn't want to push him. He said, "You know what? He raced so good. I didn't want to race him back in 3 days." Of course, it was probably the right thing to do. Um, so he scratched him. He'll be in next week. Art Seeker. I find it so hard to give this horse kudos or compliments because he's been such a little troll for such a while with us. But he did race better. Again, third, fourth, his last 4. He's probably, if he continues in this trajectory, probably knocking on the door of a win, I hope and I assume. Be My Delight will be in next week. A little flat in her last performance. Both the fillies, her and Loyal, Stonebridge Loyal, were a little flat this week. That will happen. It's tough, and I keep saying it. When you have these schedules that are interrupted by bad weather, it's tough to get these horses and keep them sharp. They're very structured animals, and when you break them up and they can't get on the track, it's tough sometimes. So Be My Delight will be back this week. I see better than, or she is in this week. Better Call Mike is also in to go. He'll be racing Monday. Raced well his last start. I hope he builds on that. Book the bet. Kevin told me school last week, and then he missed a day. So I hope she'll be in to qualify. I'll be messaging him on tomorrow. I'm messaging him tomorrow and trying to get the scoop and make sure that she is in to qualify on Thursday evening or afternoon. Buckingham's training back. I just referenced Buckingham's sister. I couldn't for the life of me say the word Buckingham. Trafalgar, the sister to Buckingham, trained well today. Buckingham has been training well, I believe. Kevin says she continues to put a little bit of weight on, which is good. Cruising with Angus, obviously on the shelf. I don't know why I keep mentioning him, but continues to be on the shelf and will continue to be on the shelf for a little bit. Probably going to start putting him out in the field when the fields are okay, and then maybe put him in the pool for a month or so. A couple of horses could go to the pool. Cruising with Angus, the good news is that Terror in his hind suspensory has filled in beautifully. You can't even tell there's anything wrong with him. So all we need to do is wait. Just wait till it's completely healed. So Cruising with Angus good. Cruising in Style is training down good again. I don't know how far along Kevin has been with him. He was in 2 weeks before Lawmaker, I believe. Maybe a month before Lawmaker. I would suspect he started training him already. But Kevin does take his time, and this horse does look great. So I'm expecting big things from Cruising with Style this year. Dancing on My Own. Dancing on My Own looked really, really well. 2 starts ago, she was a winner. Last week, a little flatter, finishing third. I see she's in to go in London. Picked to win with a middle to get 6-hole or something, outside post with Ryan Holiday driving. If You Knew Susie, very conservative drive to pick up a 5th. She's simply going to have to do more. Majesty Boy, Kevin told me a little pus pocket in his foot and it was bothering him. Now, I haven't followed up with him. He didn't say there was any concern, and kind of nonchalantly, hey, he's got a pus pocket coming. Not the first time Master Saver's done that. He'll blow that out if we need to cover it up and take some pressure off it. We can, but we will see how that goes. Road Tripper, as I said, looked great the other day. Going to be in to go next week. Timel Houdini and Timel Tulo both have been in 210. I would suspect, I don't want to make a date, but they've been in 210. I would suspect in the next few weeks they'll be ready to start schooling. So that's Kevin's burn. I'll be back in a minute with Harry and Jason's burn. Not a ton going on, little going on, a lot more in the future about to go on. But that is it for Kevin's Primary. Right back in a minute with Harry and Jason's. We were talking about Kevin's barn, have some horses racing, some horses getting ready to race. Harry's barn also. I know Final Answer's leg is starting to look good. Probably going to start light work with him very soon. And if I don't see 100% soundness right away from that leg, I'm going to put him in the pool for a month. Take away some of that concussion on the track and allow that leg to continue and heal up properly. So that's Final Answer. Just a tad made a break the other day for Greg. Greg and I probably going to throw the hobbles on him. James says, listen, I don't think we can get a fast mile into him without hobbles. I didn't like how he trotted with hobbles last year, but he has matured. So let's put them on him. We'll get him qualified this week, hopefully, and keep going. Lawmakers just jogging. Harry said he looks fantastic, which was great. Many of you know towards the end of the year last year, he was a little pinchy right hind. He showed some signs of hesitation in his right hind and a little soreness, but he's been good since he came back. Zero issues. Looks awesome. Very excited to see what Lawmaker's going to do. No rush with him. I really just want to see him ready for the mid-summer. And you guys might be a little surprised to hear that. Stake races start mid-summer for him. I just want him really fresh and tight for the first part of fall and throughout. Who knows what he's going to do. He's eligible. Him and Cruising in Style are eligible to a multitude of stakes all over the place, whether it be Plain Ridge, which is out in Massachusetts, or Dayton, Ohio. We're trying to hide Cruising in Style and Lawmaker this year for the simple reason 4-year-olds usually get it tough when it goes in with these aged horses that are seasoned veterans, tough horses that are nice. It's really tough. So these are our staples and they have been for quite a while. Cruising in Style and Lawmaker, and I want to take care of them. So Lawmaker is going to be ready for the middle of summer. Lima's son, didn't get injured per se, I don't believe, but a little bit of swelling in his right hind leg. See, here's the problem. Schooled him, he was ready to qualify, but we got a fast mile into him at the schooler. And that injury he had in that right hind suspensory were these little tears all throughout the ligament, what the vet called micro tears, but no core lesion. Now, those little tears can only heal in one way, with a scar. And you put that scar tissue in that suspensory, and you get almost cement type thing. Not a lot of stretch, not a lot of give. My hope is that he just stretched and irritated that suspensory a little bit. Not a big deal. That was inevitable. If it's something a little more serious, that's a problem. But Harry is going to have that reevaluated this week. My hope is he may have to go to the pool. He may have to race out of the pool. We have to get the swelling out of that outside branch of the suspensory. There were no apparent tears when he had ultrasounded him, but quite a bit of swelling, so it was hard to be certain. Lincoln James, a bit of a tough trip last week. Ryan might have been a little aggressive with him. I doubt he'll do that this week. Now he's got the rail, so he's going to be a little aggressive with him, I believe. But I would assume he'll have a little bit better trip, let's say. Maintenance man, training down well. I'm going to take him over to Mohawk, maybe go a mile and 15 or 210 with him when I get home. He should be ready to go in the next 3 weeks, I would think. No rush. The OSS starts in end of April usually, so I'd like to have maybe 1, maybe 2 races into him before then. Maxwell Plum trained the other day. We've completely changed Maxwell Plum's shoes to get him out of that knee. Obviously, that's a real problem. We trained him. Harry said he did not hit his knee. Might have interfered a little bit behind, so he may have to obviously make a few little changes in his hind end also and see how that plays out. But for now, Maxwell Plum probably ready to go a decent mile on Thursday. I'd like to see him going 2.5. But again, I'll have to talk to Harry about him and his readiness to do so. Screaming Hawk made a break the other day. James said he's a little rough in the turns. I went with him a week before. I thought he was absolutely tremendous. So, maybe his feet are hurting him a little bit. We put those bar shoes on him. Probably going to do his knees. Get him ready for this racing season. I would say let's school him Thursday. I want to go with him in his next qualifier when I get back. So we're going to do a little work on that horse. School him Thursday at Mohawk, and then Indigo the following week. I can go with him when I get home. Cost us a week, but I think it's probably worth it. I like the colt. I like where he's headed, and I want to be able to go with him in his next mile. What do we got next? Sunshine's Finest is training down good. No issues from Harry. Says he's going good. Sunshine in. Little flat the other day. Probably going to hide her on the B track this week. We'll see. Maybe give her a week off too. Maybe I'll go with her when I get home. Also to London or Flamborough. I'm home on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. I'm sick. Maybe I can make the 7 o'clock race at London. I don't know. Sure, 20 hours just to go to London. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, but I'll talk to Harry about that also. The Butler did it. I believe he's supposed to go Mohawk and go a good mile in 2:10 this week. If not, that'll be somewhere in the first part of this week. He'll need to do that. Too far gone. I just watched her make a break tonight. Send out a message to everybody. This is a big filly that she's not easy to drive. I can't really fault the drive from Robert Shepard. He didn't do anything wrong. Got away third on the outside. Got out of gear a little bit and made a break going into the first turn. She was so good last week. Sure, the track was really crappy and it was raining and they'd mud and everything else, so maybe that was it. But she was really good last week. I thought maybe she would do better tonight. Warwi Ultra's training down. Somebody asked me how far away she is. Probably another month. But she's training well, looking good. I saw her before I went. I thought she looked very good, filled out, put some weight on. Looked great. And White Tiger looks good. Harry's trained him 3 times now, I believe. Said he liked him all 3 times. I'll be going with him when I get home. Very happy to hear good things about White Tiger. I don't really know how to talk about Sally DeVee. Jared Bothwell is Sally DeVee. She qualified the other day. She'll be racing next week also. Ready to go. James said she qualified well. He was happy with everything he saw from her. I'm sorry if I have it on Harry's board. I didn't want to make a separate heading for Jared Bothwell. So, but he is Sally DeVee, and she'll be ready to go right now. She's qualified and will be in the box in under 7 days. Be right back in a minute. We're going to talk about Jason's barn and what went on this week and what's going to be going on in the coming weeks. Right back. We're back talked about Kevin's barn, Harry's barn, even through Jared Bothwell's barn in there with Sally DeVee. Now we're going to run through Jason's barn. Now, Jason's barn, Arvika made a break in London. Very disappointed with Arvika's performance over London. Yeah, the track's not great right now, but that making breaks is very frustrating for me. She qualified so good. So good. We could have put her in at Mohawk, but she would have to go in the straight nominals at 2. I said, let's hide her for a start. She won a race at Flamborough. Let's take her to London. No, didn't work out well. So she made a break. I was going to say we'll wait and qualify her when I get home, but I don't think we need to. I think James can go there on Thursday, get her around, tell me what he thinks. So she'll be qualifying Thursday. Bay Jewel qualified, little flat, little blah. She's going to have to go to London, her first start, I believe. I talked to Jason about maybe putting her in the maiden, but 2-4, I don't think she went fast enough to race at Mohawk. So she is going to have to go to the maiden at London. Boston Glide is ready. He's back jogging now, I believe. I know he's taking a little bit more time, but I'm not shorting this horse. When that suspensory, that irritation came down, I wanted to make sure it stayed down, so we jogged him an extra week. He should be starting to go again right now. Casanova's Jewel is getting very, very close. Very close. He'll be going in the bike this week. Both him, I think Ivanka will be going in the bike. And we'll get to that in a second. Casanova's Jewel looking very good. Probably going to train him at about 2.7, 2.8 this week at Mohawk. Dancehall Babe is training back, looking good. She's not near ready to start going fast in the bike yet, but probably ready to go mile in 2025 in the coming days, hopefully. Delcar Star Angel also training down. Now, Jason had not trained her yet when I left, and if he did, it was just a slow mile. I think I'll have a better update from him this week, Wednesday or Saturday, about how Delcar Star Angel trained. Happy Holidays is racing tomorrow night. Now, my wife says it is supposed to be 5 to 10 millimeters of rain with 100-kilometer-hour winds. I can't imagine they're going to race if that's the case. So Happy Holidays made her way back to the claiming ranks. may have to wait a week. We'll see. Ivanka's training down good. Bit the right line for the first time the other day, but Jason said the track was just horrid. And she had an issue with getting in heat really bad last year, so we started her on Regamate. Ivanka should be almost ready to go also. Oso Pine is training fantastic. He'll be ready to go for the Hackett in Ohio, maybe one start before then. It's a horse that won 3 races in 97,000. Not like there's a lot of classes out there for him in Ontario, so no big hurry to get him to the track before we go to the Hackett. So Oso Pine's getting ready. Mystical Mission, bit of a tough trip. Not a tough trip, and James was very conservative with him. He's not an easy horse to drive. I thought it was going to work out better in the last turn. The horse beside him had a tough start, gapped off the gate, and was out the whole way. But he ended up second, and we ended up sixth. He drops down in class now. We're going to drive him a little more aggressive next week. We'll see how he makes out in Mystical Mission. Not an Angel popped a little curb. Not an Angel did. So, not a big deal. Cool it out, cryo it. Not that shocking. She was running in a little bit, and that curb blew out a little bit on her. It's not a big deal and not surprising to me at all, but something that has been in the works for a while, I believe. Once they start getting off like that, there's not much you can do because you don't really know what it is. We had her looked at, and I looked at her. It wasn't anything serious. She was training well. Just maybe the tiniest, slightest little apparent hole in her gate. Now the curb blew out. That's what was happening the whole time, was that little tiny amount of soreness in that curb. It blew out. You have to cool it out, maybe even blister it, cool it out again, and cryo it if you really want to do it good. I know that Jason said he was working on it this week, so he's got it under control. Pay the Line Blue Chip, third, beat half a length, raced well the other day. See You in Tuscany's getting ready as the other Ohio horses. His first start will also be in the Hackett. Stonebridge Simba's training down well. Stonebridge Loyal, first kind of flat mile in quite a while for that filly. Even when she raced at Mohawk, her miles weren't flat. She was just chasing speed. The other night, she really got beat by horses that shouldn't beat her, but that'll happen. You know, the track was really, really bad, and as I said, both these fillies, her and, I don't want to say Arvika, there was one other one. Oh, Kevin's mare, Be My Delight. They're both a little bit flat last week. I'm sure they'll bounce back fine this week. Twinsburg's getting very close, as is West 52nd, and yes, these horses are all slated to hit the Hackett first, I believe. We'd like to get maybe one start into them, but that will be up to timing. So that's Jason's barn. You know, when you look at Jason's barn, yeah, Arvika made a break. Bay Jewel qualified. Boston Glide's back going. Casanova's Jewel knocking on the door, getting ready. Dance Hall Babe training down. Delcrest Star Angel training down. Happy Holidays in a claimer now. Ivanka, Oso Pine. Jason's got a slew of horses getting ready that should be ready in the next 2-3 weeks. So it should be fun then. It's been a bit of a dry winter for us here at the stable, racing these horses. That's my fault. I apologize. I should have known that there was a chance that some of these horses would need to be sold and moved out and not be as effective as I hoped they would. They weren't, and that's on me. So that won't happen again. But we're getting to a part now where some of our better horses are getting pretty close and coming back soon. That should be a lot of fun for everybody and a huge relief for me. So that's all the barns. I'm going to be back in a minute. I'm going to tell you what I saw through my foggy eyes at 4 o'clock in the morning from the drone sets, from all the babies. Talked about a few in the outset. Going to talk to them all. Talk to you about them all in just a minute. Be right back.